Hello, dear YouTube. I am back to a Monday self-study session for registered massage therapy. And there's a few practical things as well as the process of transferring theory into an actual experience of embodiment, both for touch, movement, for the goal of knowing the self. I'm gonna go on a tangent right away because, as I found out from a Feldenkrais method workshop yesterday, Sunday, January 14th, 2018 at Somati.ca, given by Dr. Ryan Hoffman, that Feldenkrais, Moshe Feldenkrais talked about or believed that the sense of self is provided by the sensorial and the motor pathways of the brain. So my ego structure is made out of what I sense and what kind of movements are happening to my system. Thus, this is the purpose of touch and movement, and thus massage therapy and somatic work / dance is to know ourselves, is to be in touch with the ongoing changing process of what we identify with as the self, the sensory motor experience. By the way, Vipassana, taught by Goenka and many other practices, are all about that. Another thing, since I'm talking about the value and the purpose, the goal of doing registered massage therapy and somatic work, I did have a little bit of a doubt this past few days. I wasn't studying during the weekend, and on Friday I kind of gave myself a day off as well, because I went to an appointment for psychology. And this doubt was creeping in. Oh, like, should I be focusing on massage therapy? I feel like I'm like splitting myself because there's dance and somatic work, and that's what I'm good at, but because I am chasing the societal recognition here in Canada, I'm wanting to gain the license to touch, thus be recognized by wider audiences. And it's not even for the sake of the recognition. I just want to connect with people, and I imagine people being connected to this work, and thus being connected to themselves, and thus to the earth, for example, to the flow of the rivers. So they feel the interconnectedness with the environment, and thus are gentle with it and loving and caring towards the environment, and thus towards their habitat and their own lives. But even right now I'm talking, the doubt is there. am I afraid to truly dive into the somatic work as I am afraid? And is massage therapy kind of my resistance mechanism towards really dedicating myself to somatic education? The same question I have, is my somatic education resistance to my true inner desire to dance, and in the dance that's where I really flow and experience the self-autonomous experience of flow and interconnectedness with the processes of life within my body and in connection with my environment. But at the same time, somatic work is there to serve dance and the arts, and the massage therapy is there to serve the somatic work. In terms of me just knowing the language of anatomy and physiology. Yeah, it's a curious discovery. I'm craving to just have this one thing that I'm so into that I work for a year. So having this like one monogamous partner, not 3. To have one life that I'm really present for, not 3 or 4 different lives that I'm constantly juggling. We will see. In terms of the practical scheduling, this week I'm gonna be trying establish a flow of correspondence with people in terms of my schedule. For example, this morning I meditated, I went for a walk, and then before I studied, I took an hour, a little bit even more than an hour, to reply to personal messages, as well as messages about Contact Improvisation, Contact Improv Calgary, and the event that we're going to have in Laskiri. That again, my world of Contact Improvisation, as well as the messages on Facebook about dance and the dance community in Calgary. And it kind of work. I'll probably still give another 30 minutes or even maybe an hour after my work session tonight at the end to just complete the emails. And eventually my goal is to establish a flow where I just look at my phone messages, at my Facebook messages and my email messages, and also my grandma text messages me on Skype. I look at them just once a day, and I don't pressure myself to be responding to text messages as soon as they come, because I know that I will return to them. I have the time to return to them. So today I was doing the worksheet on the heart, so just reviewing the basic structures and also how the blood flows through the heart. From the workshop again, I agree with this concept that came up, is that just knowing the structure of any object does not help me with understanding of the function of the object. The only thing that helps me to understand how the object functions is how it changes, how it moves, or in the case of the heart, the fact that the blood moves through it already and which way it goes, towards the heart, away from the heart, from the atria to the ventricles, and so on, and then from the ventricles up into the arteries, and to either the lungs or the rest of the body. That helps me to understand how the heart functions, like that movement, and then I can go and ask myself questions of how experientially do I experience the beating of my heart, the function of my heart, and I'm gonna try to unpack this idea right now of the lub dub. So the lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, lub dub, the beating of the heart. So when we hear that strong lub sound and we feel it, that is actually the contraction of the ventricles and the closing of the atrioventricular valves, and that is when the blood is ejected away from the heart towards the lungs and the body. So contraction, that strong, loud contraction of the heart, is the heart working hard to expel the blood away. And the dub sound is a softer sound, and that is when the semilunar valves close, and that means that the atrioventricular valves are open and the blood is able to flow from the atria to the ventricles. So that is the venous flow, the return of the venous flow into the heart, both from the lungs and from the rest of the body. So that is that is important to know, because when I'm listening to my own heart, and if I pay attention to the kind of the pause after the lub, the space after the contraction, maybe that will help me to focus and to give space, to pay attention to how neurologically my heart programmed itself to let the venous flow return to the heart, so the heart can rest for a second and not be this like, oh, pump, 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 contract, contract, contract. That is interesting. And also, kind of right away as I'm talking, what came to me is this idea of the coronary arteries and venous, the coronary veins, and how the coronary arteries, they nourish the heart itself to make sure that it can work well. And the flow of blood into the aorta happens at the lub, and then at the dub, the aortic valve closes, and that is when the blood can flow into the coronary arteries. So it's actually very important to feel, to understand how the dub part of my heartbeat feels, because that is what is going to help me nourish the heart itself. That is what is going to help to let the blood from the aorta drain into the coronary arteries to nourish the heart itself. Yeah, very curious, very curious. Another little thing, again, I was just reviewing the layers of the heart, and of course, like any organ, the heart has the fibrous layer that kind of, yeah, suspends the heart and connects to the rest of the tissue. And so today I explored working on my kind of lengthening, feeling my pectoralis minor, just working on the tissue, the connective tissue around that area in general, and how, yeah, I felt a little bit of an opening. So if I relax, truly give time to work on the tissues around the heart, whatever they are, the bones, the fascia, the muscle, and then I'll be able to help the heart. So maybe tonight, Stefan and I, my mentor for the practical section of the massage, we're meeting, and I'm gonna ask him about that. I'm gonna ask him to focus on that area around the heart and see what comes of it. Yeah, it'd be very interesting. And even maybe today, yeah, how if I were to touch his heart, if I were to listen to his heartbeat and know that on the lub the heart contracts and expels the blood, and on the dub it returns. If I listen to that return of the blood, will I be able to connect to that fluidity and kind of create a little bit more space for attention to live there, and somatically connect with the mind of the venous flow? Oh, a lot. Okay, did not think that this video would be so long. I was not looking forward to it too much because I felt like I wasn't ready, but I guess I was. Well, thank you very much, and happy samata sensory motor knowing of your own processes. Thank you.